Do you know what Sarpy County has to offer? It's time for another Sarpy County Spotlight.
For most parents, summer break is a challenging time. You still want to nourish your kids' minds, but they want to have fun. The Sarpy County Museum could make the whole family happy.
It could. Ben Justman is the executive director. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Well, you guys got some stuff going on, and Mary's got a quilt here. We're going to talk about this in a second, but a lot of stuff going on right now.
It is. It's a busy summer. First and foremost, the quilts is we have our Great Sarpy County Quilt exhibit. This year, it's probably, I hate to say it, well, I like to say it, it's our best year so far. We have 105 quilts this year.
Wow.
That's more than we've ever had. We partnered with a local quilting group that's kind of prominent in Sarpy County, and combined with them and the community, we drew upon that to have 105 quilts. So
we're looking at one now. We'll come out live and look at the piece that I'm holding here, and it's so interesting, the texture, the different elements here, from the embroidery to the, I mean, even this thread, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of like little, like seaweed almost, or coral, like the way these little branches are.
It is. It's the sea quilt, you know, as my mom says, there's plenty of fish in the sea, but I guess I like them on a plate or on a quilt. Yeah, you know, just one of the many varieties, and there's a total variety of old quilts, new quilts, quilts you can touch.
And these are all local quilters that made these?
They're all local talent.
Now, are they just on display? How do you acquire them? How does it work?
A few are in our collection. We've actually, I know you're plugging us as the Smithsonian of Sarpy County, that's great, but a few of our quilts have actually been to the Smithsonian, and we have one or two of those on display, but most of them are just from the community, and they're on display as well.
How do you get a quilt in the Smithsonian? That's what do you know?
I'm not sure if they called us or we called them. Yeah.
Well, but you're glad either way. That's an honor, I know.
Yeah.
This exhibit runs through August.
Middle of August, August 16th.
What if you're not into quilts? For our viewers who are watching, there's plenty else to see at the museum.
There is, yeah. We have our normal history exhibits. We have a great history exhibit on Offutt Air Force Base, big scale diorama of what it looked like in the 1930s. And then we also offer historical tours of...
Describe the tour. So I've never been on one before, and I haven't.
Okay.
So what can I expect out of the tour?
Yeah, we have 4 historical buildings. We have the oldest train station in Nebraska, right across the street from the museum. Built in 1869, goes back a few years. And then we have a log cabin from the 1830s, and I know log cabins are a dime a dozen in Nebraska, but this one is also goes back to...
Not like this. That's a really cool one.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
And we also I saw a picture of a caboose. Is that the caboose that you guys are acquiring?
Yes, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We're trying to get, well, we are getting a train caboose, and so we're hoping to bring it to the museum a month, 6 weeks, and then it'll be permanent.
It's an undertaking.
It is,
How'd you get this?
Didn't respond to it on the internet, but did see a listing for it and inquired about it and thought, well, that's a great asset. There's a lot of railroad history in Sarpy County, from Transcontinental Railroad. You know, every town had a train line, and if they didn't, they faded away and became a ghost town. So the opportunity presented itself to get a train caboose, and I thought, let's do it. We had to purchase it for the low price of $18. And now we're in the process of just kind of wrapping up a fundraising campaign to move it to the museum.
It's cool to see, I think, for kids who are interested in trains, you know, maybe Thomas the Train, but to go and be next to a caboose and the scale of it, I mean, talk about eyes wide open for those boys and girls.
Will you have to restore it at all?
It does need some, you know, believe it or not, it sat out in the Nebraska winters for 20 years or so, 30 years, and it's going to need a nice paint job, and the inside's going to need to be all fixed up. But, you know, you mentioned kids, and fact of the day, cabooses stopped running in 1991. So you get 4th graders who come to the museum, it's bad enough they don't know what a rotary phone is, but let alone a train caboose, they've probably never actually seen one on the tracks.
Right, that helps shape our area, shape our country in terms of an industry. How do you make learning fun? Is it sort of the show and tell part of it?
There's a lot of that, you know, a lot of touch and feel is always nice, interactive displays. What kid doesn't love looking at a screen these days? So yeah, any way to make it kind of multi-dimensional, you know, touch, feel, smell, taste.
Yeah, a lot of families, listen, you might go on a vacation, you might go far away, but there are going to be times where you want a staycation, or you want to spend an afternoon or a weekend getting to know what's in your own backyard. And a lot of times we hear from families who move here because our employment climate's so healthy, or folks who are in town for the College World Series and they're looking for things to do outside of the games. I think this is a smart place to go.
Yeah, we're down the street more or less, so yeah, it's a great place to be.
Exactly where will we find you?
We are located in Old Town Bellevue, 2402 Clay Street, which is just right near Offutt Air Force Base.
Plug it into the GPS.
Yes.
When all else fails.
You know, from point A to point B, and you're set. So yeah.
Great. Online at sarpycountymuseum.org.
Yeah, people interested in coming on a tour. Is all that stuff on your website?
It is,
schedule?
yeah. For tours, all they have to do is call ahead, set up a time, and I'd be happy to show them around.
Sounds good. They're also on social media, and in terms of the quilt exhibit, the 2 pieces that we have here and about 100 others, it sounds like, are all on display now through the middle of August. You see the hours there on the screen. It's nice to see these pieces, especially if you quilt or you grew up around folks who did. It just sort of warms your heart in a way.
You know, we judged a quilting contest
Did you
once.
really?
Yeah.
And they told us not to touch them.
Well,
They're very strict on that.
yes. So is she allowed to touch this like this?
Well,
I mean,
we're about 6 minutes too late on that question.
Well, I know. You got to think about these things, Mary.
Sorry to whoever made
Sometimes
it.
it's easier
I
to
know,
ask
I
for
just keep-
forgiveness.
Because this is the oils, right?
Yeah, the oils in your
Yeah.
hand, and we do have, for the touchy-feely people at the museum, we do have some white gloves that we let people wear, because some of them are 100+ years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But we'll make an exception. No, it's
Is this
fine.
where I apologize?
Yeah, I would
Sorry.
apologize.
Thank you.
okay.
Good to see you.
And take your hands off.
Keep an eye out for our next Sarpy County Spotlight. Look for more places to visit at gosarpy.com. What a good sport bet.